All right, things have gotten even more out of hand right now for a couple of these cards, including things for Blue Eye. I joke and say that things can't truly get worse, but they really have been. So, Lordly Lode over here. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more Oz content. So this is not a drill, everybody. And I repeat, I mean, the fact that I'm making another video after we just did Market Watch today, looking at some extremities, Lordly Lode has actually shattered my expectations. Just before I left on Friday, Lordly Lode was sitting at $60, which a lot of people were incredibly pissed about. And I understand this, but we've been talking about that. It might go over. This community doesn't seem to understand, and I don't know how much more I can say this, but you look at the casual Blue Eyes player, they want to be competitive. They want their deck to be competitive. They're willing to spend the money out here for this, and it's a really bad thing that people aren't really realizing this right now. And the reality of the situation is those people have been waiting. They are ready. They want to spend their money on their deck, and they want to go with it. That's why Lordly Lodes have actually exceeded the $80 price range out here. And it's actually really, really bad, man. If you were looking out here at wanting to build this deck, that's crazy to be seeing. I thought a $60 price point was, kind of already pushing it for a card that started off as a $5 card as a joke. So many people looked at it and they're like, oh, this is a joke. It's not going to go anywhere. You want to know what was a joke? My friend actually put a Lordly Lode QCR up on TCG Player, and it sold, I think, at $160-ish, $170-ish dollars. He was like genuinely just shocked by how quick it sold. It sold within 5 minutes of being listed on TCG Player, which is crazy to be thinking about right now. So, right now what you're sitting on is $170 Lordly Lodes in QCR. The Secret Rares there's a whole bunch of unverified at like 70 and then one at like 74, and that's it. You're hitting $80 clearance load all day long. All right. You guys can tell me I'm stupid all you want. You guys can be upset, but people that bottom at fives, congratulations. Stay winning out there. Stardust Cipher Dragon. Now, if you've not been paying attention to, once again, hey look, it's more Blue Eyes hype out here. OMG, couldn't believe that this was coming. So Stardust Cipher's price tag, we are hitting a solid $30 for both copies today. And it's getting even worse because both versions of these, your sub 10 listings on these. Now, Konami could very easily reprint this thing in the next OTS pack. I do want to once again remind everybody out here that this next OTS pack is going to make or break a lot of things on this market. All right, Crystons are kind of floating in that, space as well. Stardust Cipher Dragon might be another one of those cards that might be kind of floating on in that space right now as well. But if you're looking at $240 on Lordly Lodes, Stardust Cipher at $30+, then you have to go get a Crimson Dragon to toss into that equation, which is already, pushing same thing, $25, $30. You're solidly looking at $300 investing in 3, 4, 5 cards. It doesn't even get you into barrels and other things, which is nuts. Now, the reason why I started Cipher Dragon is kind of optional is a lot of the OCGs kind of foregone this card, which means you don't have to look at playing the Stardust Cipher and you don't have to look at playing the Crimson Dragon. I do highly recommend the Stardust Cipher Dragon, though, because it basically protects your true name or true light from being destroyed. It basically prevents everything from being destroyed the first time, once per turn. And that's a very, very beneficial effect that you do not want to be missing out on out here. Now, obviously, there's a lot of cool things that you can do with just the Crimson Dragon plays in this deck in general, which I think definitely says a lot about what the Blue Eyes deck is capable of doing. But all of this is coming at an extremely crazy price point now. Honestly, Stardust Cipher's what, like a week ago, were 25s. So you've already had a $5 push up over this. So once again, I'm sorry, Blue Eyes mains, but the good news is you can play without the Cipher and the Crimson Dragon. I think that's the nicest thing to say about this. You know, plenty of YouTubers have been doing the budget options, and I do recommend that you check those out. Now, I want to touch on the QCR stuff, what's been happening with this. I'm going to go way more in depth on that in the morning with what we're seeing out here with the early structure deck prices and pre-sales and all the hilarity that we've been seeing with that. But for those of you that have been paying attention, you know, they said that these QCRs were going to be abysmal to pull. And when Konami says, they're going to be piss poor to pull, you better be listening out here. With that in mind, we don't know what the official number is. A lot of us were kind of dreaming, hoping that they were going to be, what, 1 in 8 structure decks? Yeah, I know, right? But when you make a structure deck and you only put 3 potential QCRs in it, you got to kind of start to wonder about your conversion rate here. You know, if these decks cost $12 an MSRP, by the way, good luck with that. I have a feeling you're gonna, you know, on TCG Player they're hitting like 20 shipped. All right, so I don't know. If you're looking at a pull rate of $12 times 16 decks, that's 192. So it should make the QCRs worth a little bit more. But what if we start to get a little bit more toxic? What if you're looking at, you know, 32, which is 4 cases of structure decks? That's $384. What if we go 48? That's $576 to try to pull one of these QCRs. And even worse, if it's one in potentially what? Like, oh man, what is it, 56 at that point? 672? What if it's 1 in 60? That's $720 of product to open to try to find, you know, a potential QCR. But we don't know these ratios officially. So I'm saying it's not looking good if you're out here, you know, fishing for this high rarity stuff. Now, if you're going to buy 3 structure decks and holy moly, you know, you just won the lottery, well, congratulations. You're in possession of at least, you know, $100+ card at that point in time, depending on what it's going to be. And you know, Blue Eyes cards, long term, going to be very, very disgusting for the long term. So, with that being said, we'll talk a little bit more about that in the morning when we can actually look at sales data and things on Blue Eyes. But that's the reality of what we're looking at there. And then, of course, Abal Q, actually, this is very, very interesting to me because, you know, Abal was doing its job. It was falling, you know, we were hitting underneath, you know, the what, I think it was, what, like $29? I think I remember seeing some 28 and 29ers, but Abal was doing a fantastic job. Remember, Supreme Darkness dog shit set. Yeah, I mean, but something still has to hold value in the set. Something has to prop it up, which means cards aren't going to entirely bottom out. So Abal has already hit the bottom. It's game over, all right? It's already starting to spin back up. Right now, Abal is coming in at a $34 price tag out here. So reality of the situation, why do we give a crap about this, Robbie? Well, the Abal bottom is done, and we are swinging back up. You might see it hit 40. I don't think that's going to be the case. I can't imagine Abal, especially post-Alliance Insight, a lot of people know that the card is still good, but a little bit of its worth kind of fades out a little bit with that set. And I mean, you're still just looking at a generic toolbox option card. It's always going to be a good rank 4. Nobody's doubting that at all. It's just with Alliance Insight, with Malice wanting to look at the card, you know, you've got a little bit of a switcheroo with some of the boss monsters that's going around right now. And especially, you know, putting this card on a pedestal for Fiendsmith, you know, it is good. Like I said, is it, you know, $29 cheap? I'm actually surprised it went that low. I'm not surprised to see that post-YCS numbers are bringing this card up a little bit, just for what it is. So, I wanted to include that here at the end just to make everybody a little bit aware of what's going on with Abal, because the card definitely is doing some swings, some loop-de-loops, and definitely catching the eyes of some people out here, as, you know, the swing up is doing its thing. You know, Supreme Darkness is going to be a set you're going to want to watch for a little while, especially as these things continue to jump around. So, what do you guys think about everything? I know it's a real mess, but please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I will see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. patrons. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.